it's Yaila and my very good friend Macy. Macy is here to share her insights on the human design, the energy for the year. And she's so brilliant, I personally think, because she doesn't just look at the individual energy, but she can really see the whole complete picture. So I love how she puts together the information. But Macy, I'll turn it to you. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for your invitation, Yaila. It's always good to see you, and we always have the energy exchange when we chat, and I love that invitation, and thank you for that. And thank you for everyone who's joining us today. And it's my pleasure to meet you and also sharing my insights for this year. I understand that we all have very interesting year in 2020, and some of the experience that we had may not be very appealing. So moving on, and what I've been doing is like I'm trying to give a heads up to people that I am in line with. Obviously, today is in line with you all, and share like some of my insights and that I use human design to help me out, like not talking about predictions. It's like talking about like some preparations that we may need to aware of. How's the cosmic energy surrounding by us, and how we can make the decision on whether we would like to have a ride on the energy, or we understand that some of the energy is an illusion for us, and then we can take the decision whether we want to discern it, or we want to take it and uplifting us. So I have made a topic for today. 2021 is a year of calling your focus, and there's a huge theme about discernment and also servering. So let's start. Okay.
Yeah. And Macy, when you talk about, I feel like I personally have a good grasp on what discernment means, right? It's being able to choose.
Mm.
I think of it as like an alignment, right? How would you describe severing?
Oh, severing is like some people would determine it as dismantle and dump it, that like give up something. But then why I use severing this word particularly for this year, because some of the energy and also the incident happened to us is like a survival skill that there's not much time for us to make the decision. It's like you have to cut it right away, okay, and make sure it's not interfering your energy at all, okay. So is helping you to take this habit, how to respond things with your instinct, okay, because like in the past year, I think that a lot of people has encountered a year that has been a lot of thinking, a lot of like digesting, analysis, because you don't really know what information you should trust. Okay, so there's like because of the scientific educations that we've been brought up with, there's always ask us to take analysis, collect the data, and then make the decision in that way. And it took a long process in that. But this year, the energy is a little bit different. And you got to understand right now, after 2020, we found out particularly from some information that we get from the news, get from the social environment, or like social medias, is not particularly true to you or even true to the fact. Okay, so one day, like in January, you taking in this kind of information. In February, they flip around and say, "Oh, it's not the case anymore." And then in March, they give you another information and override everything they said in January and February. So what
Yeah.
to do? So what to do? It caused a lot of confusions to a lot of human beings and a lot of my friends as well. So they thought they are trying to fulfill their obligations as a citizens and sometimes like as a human being as well. But then eventually they found out there's a lot of news that they cannot trust anymore. So this year in 2021, because of the exercise and the practice that we have in 2020, I feel like if you align to the truth of yourself, you realize that, oh, in fact, I should trust my instinct more. And this year is that calling. And there will be a lot of chances for you to understand how powerful your instinct could be.
I love that. And, and I think that's why our chats always make me so excited, Macy, and everybody listening who follows my page, and now you can connect with Macy too. It's that intuitive side. I feel like is always such a missing piece. So I'm excited we have a lot more opportunity this year for that.
Because of the discernment, then it will push you to the suffering that why? Because the instinct is always come in just in that moment, and you have to make the decision already. And that moment is the mostly aligned with you, and in which causing the action that you take will help you to shape your path with alignments too.
That's so great. I've even noticed some of that stir up, just with myself where um, I'm choosing between, a couple different things. And I just look at it, I'm like, do I have the energy for this? Yes, no, and I love that word that you use, alignment. It's one of my favorites. Like, does this feel in alignment? Not that it's good or bad or right or wrong, but is this in alignment for me? If it feels like yes, then I go. If there's like a question, if it's not a complete yes, then it's a no. And I'm like, okay, then it's a no, done.
So for the tools that I use, let me jump to the second page, is human design chart. I'm so into human design, the foundation chart, the calculations is very precise and give me a lot of insights every single time. And it's fascinating. I love the tools. And this year, human design has a different year start. They start around January, either like 21st or 22nd every year. So this year, the wave new year, we technically call new year, is on January 21st. And the time show on the PowerPoint as well. So with that time, we are able to generate the chart for this year. And for this year, for some of you may not know about human design, and I will just briefly have an introduction here. Human design is a synthesis tools that we use Jewish Kabbalah, Indian chakra, quantum physics, Western and Eastern astrology's calculations, and combine together. In the chart, you see there are 9 centers that we in a human design, like from top to bottom, like the yellow one that you see on the chart is our crown. Or head center, and then come down. There's an ajna, throat, G center, which is like a diamond in the center, and then it moves to the right and the left as well. The solar plexus and our spleen, our heart, and then down we have the root, and also we have our sacral. The sacral is in between the G center and the root. So this year, cut it in short, we have 4 centers being colored. What does it mean? By being colored, that means we have sustainable energy in that center. So this year, the head or the crown, and the ajna, our third eye over here, have sustainable energy. And that is the key theme that I've talked about, the discernment and also the suffering. I will discuss that later on. And also we have another 2, a sustainable center, which is our root and also our solar plexus. So the root is something about like how we energize ourselves spontaneously. And also the solar plexus is more talking about our emotion. So you can see this year, there's quite a large split. Okay, the split between the sustainable energy in the head over here and also the sustainable energy down from the bottom. So there's a split. There's a split. That means like the throat, it seems that they don't have the sustainable energy, and then we may have a moment of losing our directions. We don't know what we love, and we just lost our pace and tempo on how to work properly. But at the same time, anything which is not colored is the center that we are going to derive our wisdom. So it's not something that, we don't have the sustainable energy in that. It's not the case. It's those energy or those centers require more time to rest, more time to digest the energy that intaking. So one of the things that I would suggest all of you to take a look on, focus on this year is like, maybe wait for the right moment to speak, right moment to act, right moment to prove yourself, and not trying to push yourself into a certain direction specifically. Like, because as I said, like this year, there's a lot of instinct, and the alignment between you from the crown to the universe is much, much intense in 2021. So we will have a lot of chances to understand, wow, in fact, if I let go myself and not to shape myself into a certain direction. In fact, I got lots and lots of inspirations and the instinct that is way more aligned to what I've been hoping for. So this is the main theme. And I will talk about the channel in between this gate 61 and 24 later. But this is the core cosmic energy. Trust yourself that the universe this year, particularly with Pluto, with the Pluto blessing, we will find more and more about our inner truth and how we are able to get more downloads, more instinct is being truth to ourselves more. Okay. Do you have any questions? Yeah, Yila.
Well, I love how you clarified as far as you're getting your intuitive downloads, and you just have that. It's just a stronger connection, and what I'm hearing from you as you describe it, it's more of opportunity to start to trust more of our natural intuition, our natural instinct, and we'll just have this whole inner knowing of which way is best for us, regardless of what other people think. And like you said, it's not about us putting our beliefs on other people. It's really just listening within, like what's best for you, your own personal self. So, do you have any insights as far as how people can start to trust? Is it truly their intuition, or is it something else? Do you have any insights with that?
Okay. Well, you know what? That's a very good question. It's always come down to different people. But then what I have addressed is we all have different level of sensation. Okay. You heard me talk about our six senses, okay, but most people, they are more in line with their five senses. So this year, I do encourage you all to make use of your senses more. Like when you see things, you can tell that click to you. When you hear something with the words, it will click to you as well. Or you've smelled something that is wrong to you, then stop it. And then with the taste, that I will come back to you, because this year the taste sense is means a lot to us. So I will come back to that. And then finally, you know that I talk about goosebump all the time, and you feel like, oh wow, I feel something when I talk I feel that in line with me because I got the goosebump. I feel the energy and I feel the warmth. I can generate the warmth myself. I don't feel the coldness. The coldness like freak me out. And you know that from every single cells of your organs, it will give you the signs of your sensation. And that is something I would say physically able to reveal to you whether that click is aligned with you. So this is how I interpret it.
That's great. I love that. Thank you, Macy.
And when I need to come back with the taste, because this year, anything that you intake from your mouth is particularly important to you, not just to your health, but also it's down to the survival level as well. So our taste this year is the theme of our sensation. If you decided to take something orally, it's fine, okay? But once you taste it and you feel something wrong, don't try to force yourself. Allow yourself to say no. That is your final gatekeeper to let you know whether it's okay for you this year or not. Trust your tongue, trust your mouth a lot this year, because we are talking about like a lot of new food coming in, whether the food is healthy for you, whether the food is safe for you, or even anything you intake orally. Okay, so this is what I see from the chart, particularly for this year. So I do encourage you. Of course, if you love to cook, like I do, so do more home cooking. It's healthier to a certain extent to me, and yes, and you will feel something different for this year when you intake something orally. So that's why I want to emphasize that.
Great. Thank you for that, Macy. I love this. These are why I love these conversations with you, because you always give such great nuggets of wisdom. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know what you're going to intake in your mouth, but anyway.
Well, we'll go back to that discernment. We'll leave it up to everybody to choose for themselves.
So let's move on and talk more details about how those two channels will cause the cosmic energy for us and how we are going to use that to make decision. So as you can see over here, I will talk about the channel between the head and the ashna first. And the gate in the head is gate 61, the gate of mystery. Don't worry about the name of the gate. Sometimes it's, vocabulary means different thing for each of us. So I will talk about that later. And then the gate in Ashna is over here is the gate of 24, which is the gate of realizations. And I put a sub notes over there is about inner truth and also return as well. And Yaina knows that I'm using human design. I'm not just using their basic knowledge and foundation. I'm also very keen to combine my in-depth study about I Ching and to synthesize more into the chart. And the word that I use in the gate 61, I'm more in line with inner truth instead. The 61 falls on the line gate 5 this year, and it's particularly important for us to be true to ourselves. Okay, because for the head, it's always like attracting all different kind of questions, questioning ourselves because we receive different kind of information, and then there's a path for us, and maybe sometimes it's a habit we will digest, analysis the questions, the answer. And then sometimes we lean on the truth that is more in line in the cosmic energy rather than which is really truth to our heart, truth to our belief. So it kind of is kind of creating some conflicts in between us. So there's a lot of debating. Should I trust myself? Should I not trust myself? And then this year, this channel will come up more often, as I said. And then whenever that you have the debating, okay, I do recommend all of us like just stop. Ask your help. Ask your heart. Just can we stop? Just stop. I don't need that kind of information to conflicting my truth. My truth is my truth. And when you keep on saying that, Mojo, my truth is my truth, then you realize that your Ashner, the gate 24, will return the realization back to you again and again and repeatedly telling you that this is your alignment. This is the answer that you would like to have. And if you find, no matter in what way, questions are like, whenever people ask you why or how or what or whatever, and that it comes back to the same answer repeatedly, that means that is the truth. That is the truth that you should hold on and trust. And this is the way how I discern, and I hope that will help you as well. And when it comes down to multiple answer, so trust that and just forget everything, like the suffering, the rest. And if you don't like worry that well, it will come back to you, and it will come back to you and frustrates you more, just write it down on a piece of paper and post it on the post box and say, hey, this is my answer. No matter what, this is my answer. Until that's one moment you feel like, oh, I complete that already. I'm ready to move on to my next instinct. Then you can change it. So did I confuse you here, Yaila?
No, that's great. And that's so powerful too, because that subtle reminder of my truth is my truth, no matter what other people believe is right for them or wrong for them, or, it's because I feel like a lot of people do get in those debates, and we we start to question ourselves. We kind of get lost in trying to prove what we're saying is right to the other person, but their view and their reality is unique to them. So coming back to my truth is my truth, and trusting that. And I've learned so much from you as far as being able to take rest and just trusting, like, okay, if I don't know the exact answer right now, let me rest. It'll come back, and just trusting that your truth is your truth and you'll know it when it's the right time.
Mm-hmm. And interesting enough, normally this channel just come once. Okay, this the instinct only comes once, not repeatedly like that way. But this year is a bit different. It will come back again, and come back again, just to remind you what your inner truth is. So interesting. Yeah, and I do already sense that cosmic coming in already, so I would like to share that with you, because normally this channel doesn't work in that way. This channel normally just come in once, and if you ignore it, it disappears. So that's why most of people, they don't really trust themselves having that intuition at all, because it's like it's just a moment, and then you know that then the past experience will override the present moment, and they forgot. But this year, nope, the universe is going to remind you again and again and again this year. Okay.
Wow. So
So
this is basically a good year if you're wanting to strengthen your intuition. This is a great year to practice it.
yeah, and I remember you have that channel too. So if you want to share the experience with our audience, feel free.
That'll be more videos down the road. I don't want to disrupt. You got you've got some great info coming here. So that's a whole other, but thank you. But yeah, I just love that this is a good year for people if they want to do that. There's a lot of avenues for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And support cosmically now too.
Yeah. And then
Cool.
let's move on to the next channel. The next channel. Let me scroll. Next one. Okay. So the next channel is the channel of synthesis. Then it comes from the root down back to the solar plexus, from gate 19, gate of wanting, to gate 49, gate of principles and revolution. So there's a little bit tricky, this one. So for the root, how does it work? It also always works simultaneously. It's like a light switch. If it is on, it's on. If it is off, it's off. And there's nothing you can switch it back. It works like it connected with, what is it called? Androna? No, what is it called? The androline? Is it? What is it called again? Yaila.
Adrenaline?
Yes, adrenaline. Yeah, you know, you know what I speak. Yeah,
like fight or flight type of energy. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that kind of energy. So this energy is talking about like touch and approach. Okay, so when gate 19, it works like, after 2020, of course, we are long for touching with physically, touching with people, get in touch with our loved ones, get in touch with our one that we miss, but we haven't get in touch with them for so long. So after 2020, then the new year in 2021, that we are going to define a new definitions of touch and approach from ourselves. So whether you would like to touch people physically, but you're not able to do so, can you transform the touch, this intimacy in a different way? That's the revolutions we bring on with the gate 49. So because of the intense urge or willingness for people to start reaching out to their loved ones in a different level. They realize that socialing with others, some people may realize that only spending time socialing with business partner or socialing with some I don't know what, some people that may appears to them very important socially, but in fact may not be that important if it is measured by social intimacy, okay? Then they will start discerning like, oh, okay, I don't have time for that anymore. I don't have that energy anymore. But you know that socially needs investment on time, investment on the energy, investment on love. And hey, take a look. After 2020, I really know that who I should hang around. And it doesn't mean that we have to physically get in touch with that people anymore, but at least you will transform yourself and having a revolution. It's like, this is my new principle. This is how I would like my love share with others, how my emotions that I want to get control back to myself. Like, I'm not going to frustrated because of the news coming out. I don't get frustrated because I was accused by not doing something or by doing something. I learn more about my emotion. I know what my principle is, and I'm ready for telling people that I want a new me and a new definitions on how I got my feeling and share with you. And share to those that I feel more important to me. I don't need to share everything to everyone and post it and trying to get like agreement. In terms of the quantity, what I'm looking for is the quality. that who is really in line with me, then I draw myself to the mission, to the purpose that I want to be, and to become who I want to be. So you see, there's the revolutions come from the feeling, come from the truth. If it is in line with the instinct together, even though it's a huge gap between, but if we trust the instinct, that the answer that we repeatedly get back to us, and I ask ourselves how much love in depth with that answer, and spontaneously push ourselves out and do it and say, hey, I want to make an announcement. This is the new me. And I want to get in touch with you in this way. I love you in this way. And you don't feel ashamed. And you don't feel judged. And you don't need to prove yourself, because this is the new transformation year before year 2024. So we have 3 years. There's a lot of revolutions, evolutions happening in these 3 years. And each year we have different theme, and this year is focus. The calling of focus. Focus back to your instinct, focus back to your excitement, focus back to what you love. So that's the whole theme for this year. So how does it sound to you?
That's awesome, Macy. And let me make sure I'm hearing you on correctly. So it's almost like focusing on how are you spending your energy and your time? Is it in alignment with what your intuition is telling you? Energetically, is it telling you the people that you're choosing to spend your time with? Versus before, 2020 before, it's kind of like we would go because we kind of felt obligated, whether it's work or different social events. Now we're moving more into, I have so much time in the day. Energetically, let me go to the things that feel in alignment, that I'm intuitively um, connected to and guided to. So we get to really focus our energy more in beneficial ways. Is that kind of what I'm hearing? And we're learning that?
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yes, it is. And also like I would like to talk about a little bit on the open centers as well, because it will also like give us either the illusion or the wisdom. So
right.
What I would encourage of you, like, do less this year is all okay. Do less or taking less action doesn't mean that it will intrude your quality of deliveries. Okay. Less project, but focus more on the quality rather than trying to give yourself okay, you know what? Because of the environment, I need to keep myself busy. I have to do this, do this, do this. And then because you know what, I know last year a lot of people encountering a lot of like financial burdens and also obstacle in that way, and then they will say, oh, okay, should I work a lot more in order to compensate that we lost or at some point? But at the same time, like the year the energy in 2021, why is it so important to align back to our instinct, is after 2020, I believe that you kind of like we all kind of sense that we are all supported at some point. We are all supported at some point, and it may not be the best time to do what we used to do so good, but it also gives us a time for a break to realize that we can do it in a different way. We can deliver our profession in a different way. It doesn't have to be, oh, okay, like when social media is so hot, you can see people like trying to do the 21 days challenge or the live chat and all the interviews and stuff like that. Do you have to do it like every single day? Does it align with you? If it is aligned with you, it's fine. It's totally fine. We are talking about alignment and intuition, back to your own inner truth. But if you're seeing people to do it in that way, then you follow them to do it in that way. At the same time, you're burning out yourself and not seeing the results. That means you need to stop. So having the burned out may be something, that illusion that you receive from other people, but at the same time is the wisdom. So that's why I always say that in the white centers, not the white center, it should be the empty one, the empty center. It means it's a chance for you to take more wisdom in. So don't worry about like the frequency of the work that you're intaking. Focus on the quality of the work. Not worry about like which direction you should go, because the direction, the inner truth will guide you through. The instinct will guide you through. Don't worry about you have to talk about speak, sharing your thoughts. It's not necessary. Wait for the invitation, because it's more powerful. You need time to pile up your power. If you keep on talking something repeatedly and it's not working, just like a mom that it means it's not working. It's not delivering to the audience. They are not intaking. So save your power. Okay, wait until the moment they ask for the help, and they open up your ears and listening to you. And then you will see how powerful you can be just for saying one sentence. And also, don't worry about to prove yourself, trying to do things that just to prove that you're powerful. It's fine, because you know your power comes from how you react to the shock and unexpected incident that happening in 2021. Well, we have encountered a lot in 2020. There's some carrying energy in 2021 as well. There are some shocks as well, unexpected incident as well, but we are trained. We train how to react this year. So we don't need to prove it, because our instinct reaction to those kind of incidents will prove ourselves automatically. And we don't need to prove by words, by shouting or whatever, by our action. And it's come up spontaneously. And survival skills, we're all so good at it after the training in 2020. Don't worry about that. So this is what I would like to share about our empty centers, how to get your wisdom out of it. And do you have any questions, Yaila?
Thank you for that. So, with the empty centers where the wisdom comes in, what I'm hearing you say is those are the ones you don't have to like push. There's not necessarily going to be an exact default way of handling. It's going to kind of run its course. We're going to have to trust ourselves and just kind of go with the flow, ease into it, not try to push or make it be any type of way. So what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
cool.
Because the head and the root will help you to sense that. The energy is not about pushing. This year, the energy is about excitement, where you can find excitement. And then that excitement may push you to do that, that's fine. But rather than using a very hard energy, like try to prove yourself in that way, and then eventually it will drain yourself. If you use the excitement to do something, you automatically energize yourself. So there's no, I cannot use the word pushing, but in a way it's a pushing as well, but it's different. You don't feel you don't feel you're burned out. You don't feel that you don't have the energy anymore, and then all of a sudden you stop everything. It's not like that. So there's a
like it'll propel you forward is kind of what I'm hearing.
Correct. I know that Yaila would like me to talk about like the next 3 months.
Yeah, it's kind of thinking, the first quarter of the year, and since human design, I think that'd just be helpful for people to kind of prepare the next couple of months.
Yeah. So since the new year started on the January 21st for human design, so the next 3 months is up around the 20th of April. So before 20th of April, this is, if you dissect into 3 quarters, because it's not just January, and it's like a little bit override from January to February, but you can see there are three sectors that the we would like to look at, or I would suggest that you would like to look at too. So the first segment is around January and February. Take a look at the focus on your emotion, particularly. So like maybe you can trace yourself, like how your emotional ride and how it's being uplifted, or you're in a downplay. Why is it that? Is it because mainly of the people? Is it mainly because of the frustration? Is it mainly because of the work that you're doing? How's your emotional goes? How's your emotions goes? Like, is it very steady, very peaceful? What makes you feel peaceful? What makes you feel love? Who do you like to connect with? Okay, those are the questions I'm going to throw in and let you ask yourself, because it will help you to focus like how do you want to cope with your emotion when you have the downtime. How do you find your tools to uplift yourself if you have the emotion downtime? Should you reach out to people? Should you do more exercise? Should you read a book? That is the theme that for the first, like later of January and also the first part of February, it will help you to understand how to focus on your emotion. Do you have any question, Yanila?
So I'm just hearing for that, it's a lot of self care. So it's like, what your emotions are telling you and just really honing in on what helps you feel good and alignment and loved and peace.
Yeah, go back to the theme, the discernment, and also the suffering. So if it is something not working for you, cut it off.
Cool. Thanks, Macy.
Okay. So the second segment that we need to focus on is our resiliency. After you encounter the cycle of the emotions, you get to understand like how's your emotions ride. And obviously, I can tell you there will be some downtime. Okay. And then after encountering those downtime, where is your resilience? How to take good care of yourself in terms of health. What kind of health? Physical health, mentally health, emotional health, and also I bet there's some financial health that we need to take care of in the second section. Something, the truth that we really want to face. We cannot hide it anymore. Let's put something out on the table, work it out. So this is the second one. It's talking about our resiliency. And that is a good thing to do, because when I talk about resiliency, I always link with resources. That will help us out to understand that we always get supported, and don't worry about it. And try to examine what you already have. What kind of tools, what kind of network, what kind of space that we have already that to help us to pertain our resiliency more. It's not just about like, it's talking about cosmic energy. It's not just about like what we encounter. We may not encounter a lot of like, I'm not saying that every single one of us will have bad luck and some tragedy happen to us. It's not. It's about the cosmic energy as well. There's some bad news coming up in the general environment that may affect us unnecessarily. So don't think about, oh, it must be down to the person. Down to the person, I have to look through individual chart. Okay, but what we are talking about is the cosmic. Okay, after the excitement and the emotion, well, put it this way, in January and February, there may be some exciting news coming up, and then we got a good excitement and blah, blah, blah. And then in February and March, then what if the news override the excitement again and come back to you and say that, oh, okay, we found out there's something else. Okay, in that kind of energy that I'm talking about. Okay, so, and where can you stand up on your feet and then, hey, I'm not being affected, okay? Because I'm back to my inner truth, right? I know, like, whatever it happens outside, when I'm tapped back to my inner truth, that you can distance yourself. Once you distance yourself, then the energy will not affect you in that way. And then I have the resiliency to get back to my space, spend my time more efficiently, and then forget about anything that is illusion to me. So this is what I'm talking about, the resiliency, that focus on the strength, that each of us will have a different kind of strength in terms of our resiliency. Like some people, they may exercise and work it out and then forget everything. Some, they may take another action, but there must be some tools inside of us that we are in line to help us to whatever like the cosmic energy is trying to affect us inevitably, we're still able to find our inner truth and to become who I would like to be.
That's also exciting. We're ready. Focus, discernment, severing, intuition, alignment, emotions, resiliency. What's the next one?
The next one is talking about the focus of transformation. Okay, the third sector, the cosmic energies, there's a lot of control, trying to control you, stop you from doing stuff that you would like to do, and or even telling you a lot of different principles, telling you a lot of different theories and saying that, hey, you should do that in that way. I know you're trying to push me away. You're trying to lift up your resiliency. No, I'm telling you, I want to control you in that way. Listen to me. But then it's about the time, the third sector is about the time to show that you have transformed yourself. You have focused your transformation. You know that you got a new you. You know that you won't go back to what you believe that you need to in line with the cosmic energy all the time and compromise yourself in that way. There will be a lot of like control energy in the third section. In our environment, and trying to tell you to do it in this way, and that is the only way you can survive. And once you stick with yourself and you can see the transformation, you can see the reward for all the struggle that you may have, the fight that you may have with others is rewarding.
Great. Well, thank you so much for explaining, how you see the energy with the human design and, how it's going to relate to people, what they can do in these moments that can help them, kind of move through the energy. Is there anything else you feel is important for people to know for this year or first couple months?
Energetic wise, be thankful for that. I would say I always put my gratitude in front of everything. We got a chance to meet today. I love to meet people in a different way. But yeah, be thankful because 2021 is just the first year of our transformation after 2020. So 21, 22, 23 is is so different, but also helping us to understand that what we like to invest on, what we're really keen on, and when we prepare for those two steps, then around the year 2023 and 24, then is really the year for us to step out in general. In general. In general.
Very cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people have talked about, moving into the age of Aquarius that kind of started um, with the Jupiter Saturn in December 21st. And so but obviously you're taking some of the energy that's been around and there's going to be a transition time. So that's kind of what I'm hearing. The next couple of years, we're really going to be, that transition, transforming, adjusting to the energy.
And I think that the last thing that I would like to address on, if you really want me to address on, is if you try not to aware of that, the universe always give us lesson to to wake us up. Okay, you see how all of a sudden people trying to people still rely on social media at some point, but I do feel like because of the thing that we go through in 2020, people are more um, aware of how to use the social media in a healthy way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Macy. I really appreciate you taking the time to break down the energy of this year and the first couple months. So I hope everybody watching enjoyed the information as well. If they want to get a hold of you, is there a specific place? I'll make sure to include it too, but any place that you want to share that they can connect with you at?
Yeah, they can send me email to, or they can send me the note through yinyangpower.com.
Yinyangpower.com.
Yeah, yinyangpower.com.
I'll make sure to add that too as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Yaila.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.